Hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be the third session of our PySpark coding interview question series. In this video, we will see what are the typical use cases of a self-join, in what conditions we need to use it, and how to use it, everything we will see. So this is the given problem statement. Here we have one data frame which is our source and the output data frame we need to create based on some conditions. What are the conditions? So in source data frame, we have three columns: stock ID, date, and price. And it in target data frame, we need to add one more column to the source data frame, which is a price change. So this price change column generation is our requirement. On and what conditions we need to add these values, right? Null, up, same, down. These four things are there. Four distinct values you can see here, right, in price change column. So we need to decide these values based on the price comparison between the current date and the previous date. For example, this is stock ID A. On 2nd of January, the price is 153. So we need to compare the price of same product. What was the price yesterday? So for second row, we need to compare the price with the first row, which is 1st of January. So these two price we need to compare. And if the price has increased the next day, we need to give up here. If the price is same, for example, this row number 2 and 3 price are same, so the third row will have same value. Similarly, if the price has gone down, for example, on 4th of January the price is 155 and in the 5th of January the price has gone down to 145. It means the price has gone down, right? So we need to mention down here. Likewise, we need to do for all the rows. Any given row we need to compare with the previous date and the price we need to compare. And in the next date means the current date, the price has gone up, down, same, or null. Null when we need to give when there is no previous date to compare. For example, this is the 1st January 2024, right? If you want to compare with the 31st of December 2023, there is no such date, right, to compare with. In that case, we need to give null. I hope the problem is clear to everyone. Now let's jump into the solution. So for saving your precious time, I have already created this data frame. Let me try to display it using df.show. This is the data frame which I have already created and we are going to use this for our problem solving purpose. Let me create another cell. One thing we need to notice here, we need to compare the price between two rows of the same table, right? If there is suppose another table given and we need to compare the price between this table A and another table B. So it's very simple. We can do a join between these two tables and we can simply compare the price. But in this case, we need to compare the rows between the same table. These two rows we need to compare, right? And this similarly, this two next we need to compare these two rows. Next, we need to compare these two rows. Likewise, we need to compare. So we need to have two instances of the same table so that we can join and compare. That is the use case of self join. When we need to compare the row between two rows between the same table, so we need to use self join. It very simple. For that, we need to create two instances. So we will create simply df1 and df2. This will refer to the same table. So we can simply use df dot alias function we can use and we can give a. So this a is nothing but a view of the data frame df. Similarly, we can create one more view df dot alias and this time we can use a name b. So this a and b nothing but the view which are pointing to the same data frame. So we can join these same table with the same table using these two data frames df1 and df2, and whenever you want to refer the columns of any df1 or df2 we can use this a and b name. Clear? So now let's try to join this. We will create another data frame df.join Here I'm going to write a syntax of join. So let's see, df dot join we need to give, and here we need to provide three things. First thing is on which table we need to do join. df1 we need to join with df2. This we need to give. Second thing, we need to give conditions based on which condition this join will happen. So here we need to write two conditions. First thing is simple, we need to compare the ID, because we want to compare the price of same stock, right? We don't want to compare A with B. We want to compare price of A between two dates. So stock ID should be same. This is our first condition. So we can simply write, we need to use call function here for referring to any column, because whenever you are doing any joining or any complex calculation, so better to use call function for referencing any column. It's a tip you need to remember, that whenever you are using join, then make use of this call function for referencing any column. Okay, this thing you can remember. Now come back to our joining condition. So three things I told you we need to give, right? First thing is the two data frames between which we need to do the join. Second thing is the condition. This is the important part here. So first of all, we need to give a dot stock ID should be equal to b dot stock ID. This is our first condition. We need to give one more condition, so we can simply use AND operator here. Second condition is what? We need to compare the date. But how we need to compare? Means the previous date we need to compare with the current date. For getting the previous date, we need to use one function, which is date underscore add function. And we need to give here which date you want to refer, a dot date. And this function, how it works, suppose if you want to add one day to the current date, so you need to give current date, and here you need to give how many dates you want to add. You want to add one date, you need to give one here, like this. It will come outside the bracket, like this you need to give. But in our case, we don't want to add the date, we want to subtract the date, right? Because we want to go to the previous date, we want to compare the previous date, so we need to give -1 here. So it will display the previous date of this current date. So this previous date we want to compare with the current date, so we can give equal to. Now simply without using date function, we can use the b dot date. So it means the previous date we are comparing with the current date. So this becomes our condition 2. Right? These are the two conditions we have given. At third place, what we want to give, we need to give what type of join we are using. So we can simply use left join, because we want to have all the rows, right? So for any of the data frame, we will have all the rows. So I have given left here. So in this case, we are considering A as our left, this df1. So it will have all the rows from this df1. We can use left here simply. Now let's close this. I hope brackets and all are correct. One more thing, we have used two functions here. One is this call, one is this data. So we need to import these functions from PySpark dot sql dot functions import column and date underscore add. Okay, let's see how the join data frame is looking. Df join dot show. So we have got the joined output of data frame 1 and 2. So we have got 6 columns, 3 from both the data frames. Here, one thing we need to notice here, whenever we are getting null in price column, it means there is no previous date we found to compare it with. So for example, for this date, right, no previous date is found in the next table, second table. So we have got null here. And other things we have got, so we can compare this 153 with the 153 of the second data frame. 150 we cannot compare with because there is no previous date. This 153 we can compare with 150, it means price has gone up. 153 with 153 price has remained same. Likewise we can compare. For doing that we need to have one more data frame, df.result we can use. Here we can simply add one more column to the df underscore join data frame. We can use with column function to create new column, and what name we can give? Price underscore change. This is our new column, and we need to use one when function here, and simply we need to give an b dot price is null, then it means we need to give none. None is nothing but same as null in SQL, right? In SQL we use null, in Spark we use none. So whenever we are giving as none, it means it will display as null in the output. So we need to use this none here. Okay. This is one condition we've given. We need to add more when. For adding more conditions, we can add one more when here, and this time we can write one more condition. Here we can see write a dot price is equal to column of b dot price. So in this case, what we need to give, if the price of a and b is same, we need to give same, right? Similarly, we can add one more when function. This time we can say a dot price is greater than, when a dot price is greater than b dot price, it means price has gone up. One more when condition we can add here. Here we can write simply if a dot price is less than the b dot price, it means price has gone down. So this is how we can give the conditions, all the conditions. Now let me try to show it. Df underscore result dot show. Now we have got this newly created column with all the required values. So if there is no comparison found, we have given null here. If the 153 is the second day price and previous it was 150, so we have got up, and if it is same we have got same, if it has gone down we have got down. Likewise we have got all the values correctly in this price change column, which was our requirement. Now we want to select only the required columns, right? This one, this one, this one, and this price change. For that we can simply write like this: df.result, and we can select, using the select function we can select the only the required column, stock id, date, price, and price change. So this will give us the exact final result. So this is the one way of doing it, but there is another better way of doing is using the lag window function. In that case, we don't even need to do the self join. Without doing the self join, we can compare the rows between the same table. So lag functions provide us that flexibility of comparing the rows between the same table without doing the self join, so that it becomes very easy to solve such problems because we don't need to use self join. In that case, we can simply use a lag function. So how to use that lag function, that we will see in the next video. Until then, take care, goodbye.